Hi, everybody. Welcome to the 18th Annual Ken Kringle Historic Preservation Awards, an event created by the Dubuque Historic Preservation Commission in 2002. My name is Christy Monk. I have served on the commission as the architect for a while. The awards are named after the late Ken Kringle for his dedication to historic preservation through his involvement on the commission, as well as the Bluff Street Neighborhood Association and the Old House Enthusiast Club. Dubuque's Historic Preservation Commission is committed to preserving, enhancing, and promoting Dubuque's many historic treasures. Dubuque has an abundance of historic buildings which help tell the story of our community and heritage. Those, combined with our rich environmental landscape and our history, create the unique sense of place and identity that is Dubuque. The awards are presented annually during Architecture Days to recognize the best rehabilitation projects in the city of Dubuque. We are honored to carry on Ken's legacy by recognizing 5 special awardees this year. We are truly fortunate to have so many people dedicated to preservation in Dubuque. And now, on to the awards. Our first award goes to Delta 3 Engineering's rehabilitation of the industrial building at 898 Jackson Street in Dubuque's Millworking National Register Historic District. Built in 1890, the historic business Key City Ironworks remained in continuous operation as an ironworking and machine shop until 2013. Delta 3 Engineering purchased the building and completed a full rehabilitation in 2019. As part of the rehabilitation process, existing conditions were documented, a structural analysis was completed, and the design team worked closely with the State Historic Preservation Office following the Secretary of Interior standards for rehabilitation. Architectural details of the original structure have been carefully preserved and retained to reflect the original construction methods and materials. Rehabilitation of the existing building into 3 tenant spaces involved tuck pointing, replacing beams and roof deck, and replacing windows and doors, none of which were original, with ones appropriate for the era of the original building design and use. The original belt and pulley system used to drive the machine shop equipment now drives the ceiling fans. Other parts have been refurbished as tables, and the original wrenches are utilized as door pulls. The project benefited from assistance from the city's Economic Development Department with $25,000 in grants for planning, design, and financial consultant work, as well as 10 years of tax increment financing rebates. The property received a facade grant several years prior. The team at Delta 3 said, "When we entered the building in 2018, it seemed like the previous owners and workers had left for lunch. The sense of history was amazing, and we wanted to be able to preserve that feeling in our rehabilitation." Congratulations to the team at Delta 3 Engineering for taking on this great project. Our next award goes to Tim Hitzler, who rehabilitated the old Kings of Clubs Tavern at 1902 Central into Central Avenue Mercantile. This structure is believed to be built in 1900 and is located in Dubuque's Upper Central Avenue National Register Historic District. The project falls in the small commercial category and was renovated by Tim into a community retail space for handmade and homegrown goods. Local merchants display their products in the store and sell these products on a commission basis. Currently, there are over 30 merchants at the store. The building was formerly known as the King of Clubs Tavern until the early 1990s. Tim and many helpers used a lot of elbow grease to remove years of changes in grime. The building was restored to more closely match its original appearance with a mahogany storefront, reconstructed original tin ceiling, and exposed brick interior walls. The project included the creation of 3 apartments above the retail space, which are now occupied, but were previously vacant due to noise from the tavern on the main floor. The project benefited from the city's Economic Development Department's assistance with grants totaling $12,500 to help with facade rehabilitation and planning and design assistance. The project is an important addition for the Central Avenue street wall as the community works to revitalize this historic and important commercial district. Congratulations, Tim. Our next award goes to the Kansas-based firm Cohen Esri Development Group. Marquette Hall, located at 2222 Queen Street, is an adaptive reuse of the former Sacred Heart School, built in 1920 and located in the North End neighborhood. The project converted the former school into 28 apartments for seniors 55 and older. This $6 million investment involved 10 different sources of financing to complete the transformation. For historic purposes, they retained the original auditorium, stairways, and hallways, which made it challenging to efficiently configure the building. One of the new residents is a former student of the school. Her apartment was her third grade classroom. The project benefited from assistance from the city's Economic Development Department with grants for new housing creation totaling $30,000 and a combination of a facade planning and design and financial consultant assistant grant of $35,000. The project also benefited from tax increment financing. Marquette Hall is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. This creative project helped repurpose one of the many Catholic schools that have closed across Dubuque. Congratulations to Cohen Esri and all the people who helped make this possible. Our next award is in the residential category, going to Sandy and David Hockenberry, owners and residents at 1015 West 3rd Street. They purchased the 1906 house as their home in June 2018 and began with inside renovations, including painting and papering, replacing flooring, and refinishing hardwood floors. During spring and summer 2019, they contracted work done on the outside of the house, including painting, carpentry, and roofing. They worked with their painter and paint supplier to choose colors for the house that provided a balance of current trends and historic relevance, as well as enhancing the unique exterior features of the house. Sandy commented, "Renovating a century-old house can be frustrating, but the end result is worth it. Most likely you will run into unanticipated repairs as we did during our renovation. They encountered rotting wood and a leaking roof, but were able to overcome these setbacks." The property abuts the Langworthy Historic District and is only 2 properties away from the Fenland Place National Register Historic District. The restoration is a great addition to Dubuque's historic building stock. Congratulations, Sandy and David. Our final award goes to Bobby Connereau and Kyla McComas of the Driftless, a multi-layered entertainment venue at 168 East 10th Street in Dubuque's Millworking National Register Historic District. The Driftless is the backdrop for social gatherings, meaningful life events, impromptu happy hours, and gourmet food. The structure was initially built as an engine turbine building, which helped to power the district's Kringle plant, once one of the largest millwork manufacturers in the Midwest. Later, the structure was converted into a metalworking shop by the late Jim Avery, a local metal artist and craftsman. The full brick structure anchors a row of historic support buildings for Kringle, essentially a full neighborhood of similar building types. The conversion to an entertainment space included exterior improvements with selective window and full storefront replacement, tuck pointing, and custom-built iron handrail created in honor of the previous owner, Jim Avery. The largely well-maintained exterior enabled the investment to primarily focus on interior improvements. The rehabilitation has allowed the space to serve intimate events and gatherings to the area as a vibrant place for work and play. This project has layered several funding sources, including local incentives for facade rehabilitation, state and federal historic tax credits, and private loans. Congratulations to Bobby Connereau and Kyla McComas on their exciting reuse for this property. And on behalf of the City of Dubuque and its Historic Preservation Commission, congratulations to all the Ken Kringle Historic Preservation Award winners. I, for one, am looking forward to a time in the future when we can all get out and visit these great projects in person. Thank you.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the annual Historic Preservation Awards given by the Dubuque County Historical Society's Historic Preservation Committee in partnership with the Dubuque Preservation Commission. I wish that we could celebrate these awards together. However, since that is not possible, we are bringing the awards to you and your family and friends. The Historic Preservation Awards were started in 1975. The awards program is distinguished from other preservation awards in the community by recognizing citizens of Dubuque County who have demonstrated a commitment to historic preservation through historically sensitive restoration and preservation of their residential, commercial, or civic properties. Since 1975, over 200 buildings have been recognized for upholding the history of Dubuque's architectural legacy. Our first property today is Textile Brewing Company in Dyersville. This former H.B. Glover Sewing Factory, affectionately known as the Pajama Factory to locals, has transformed into a unique craft beer destination. Built as the Dyersville Gas Engine Company in 1906, it became a sewing factory in 1910 and operated that way until it closed in 2010, leaving behind a century of solid architecture and textile industry artifacts. In 2018, the Dyersville Economic Alliance and the City of Dyersville collaborated to win an Iowa Economic Development Authority Community Catalyst Grant to assist the Olberdings in renovating the building into a microbrewery. Using historic photos and Carol's talents as an art teacher, they have taken the exterior of the building back closer to its early industrial roots, including replicas of the original factory windows and reopening the large door space at the front of the building, flooding the interior with natural light. Every attempt has been made to bring the building back to its original 1906 facade, such as removing panels to reveal the original shiplap and cleaning, but not finishing, the maple floors to show the years of hard work that took place there. The brewery will be the anchor for a new mixed-use commercial and residential development along the river in Dyersville. Our next property is St. Clement's Catholic Church in Bankston. St. Clement's Catholic Church was dedicated in 1898. It is a Gothic revival design. The architect was Guido Beck from Dubuque. This parish is unique as it was originally organized in 1860 and comprised equal amounts of German and Irish immigrant families, which was unusual at that time. The church has retained most of his historic design, both interior and exterior. The most visible exterior change is the glass frame front doors installed in the 1990s, which replaced the wood panel doors. The interior retains its original elaborate wood altars, pews, and other furnishings. The St. Clement's Parish has engaged in building renovations over the last several years. The exterior masonry and steeple were restored in 2013, and between 2017 and 2019, all stained glass windows were restored, wood frames were restored, and the protective storm glass installed. Our next property is 1070 Melrose Terrace, Dubuque. The John L. Keese House has stood the test of time, with a great number of its original characteristics intact since its construction in 1916. Some unique elements of the home include a poured concrete foundation, a large semicircular brick fireplace, and a stunning original leaded glass transom and side lights feature at the front entrance. The house was declared an abandoned property in 2014, but it was rescued and rehabbed into a modern dwelling without being stripped of its historic charm. While the roof and windows were fitted with modern replacements and gutters were added, the original wood slat siding and colonial revival style front porch were painted and restored. The current homeowners hope to continue to make improvements in the spirit of the century-old history of the home. In their first 4 years of dwelling there, they have restored missing interior trim, installed an original recycled 1930s Keese Pharmacy retail counter in the kitchen, replaced rotted exterior siding, and painted the exterior in a green color inspired by what they believe to be close to the original color. Future projects include painting the garage exterior and wrapping up a compilation of the complete owner history of the home that is known to have housed two pioneering Hollywood actresses, Margaret Lindsay and Jane Gilbert. Our next property is 1675 Jackson Street, Dubuque. The Meyer House at 1675 Jackson Street was built around 1874 for the Meyer family. This house is a one-story workers' cottage built of brick masonry in the vernacular style. The house is a contributing building in the Washington Neighborhood Historic District. Ernst Meyer, a German immigrant, lived in the home with his wife Mary and their children. Also sharing the modestly sized home was Ernest's niece and a servant that was employed by the family. Ernst worked as a stone cutter for the Schultz and Wagner Company, which was the largest stone cutting operation in Dubuque during that time. Later residents of the home shared the Meyers' industrial worker profile, including George Hahn, a boiler maker who lived at the home with his family in the late 1890s. Alex Eichstadt of Providence, Rhode Island, purchased the house in 2019. Restoration efforts of both the house and garage were completed by a Dubuque area contractor, Zach Hinman of Hinman Home Repair, and included a full interior remodel, new floors, replacement of roof, exposing and saving all the historic windows that had been covered, and restoration of all the historic windows that were not covered, the removal of awnings and all new landscapes, and paintwork. Our next is 800 Johnson Street in Cascade. James Hill built Evergreen Villa in 1854 with his first wife, Sylvie. Hill was a Civil War chaplain lieutenant who received the Congressional Medal of Honor. The villa was originally part of a 200-acre farm, which at one point had a racing track. Over the years, it has survived tornadoes and neglect. The current owner, Patricia, had said once if they ever moved, she wanted to move into that house. And in 2017, they bought the 4,000 square foot villa. Previous renovations and being deserted for 10 years had taken a toll on the property. The current owners employed Amish workers during the renovations and restoration of the villa. All 4 fireplaces had to be reopened and plaster removed from the brickwork. The porches were rebuilt using historic photographs. Plaster was removed from walls to expose original brick, and layers of paint were scraped off the walls. The kitchen floor had a giant hole, which was patched, and all original wood floors were restored. A tin roof was added, and the house had 9-foot-tall cottage windows that one could walk out onto the front porch from. However, because of broken and missing glass and frames, only one original window with the original glass was saved. It is believed that the villa was built by John Francis Spragg, a well-known architect in Dubuque, where he built the old jail, the Matthias Ham House, and the Octagon House, as well as the old Capitol building in Iowa City. Our final property is 1838 Central Avenue, Dubuque, otherwise known as Upcycle. Built between 1885 and 1890, 1838 Central Avenue was originally a meat market. Its 3-floor design, with 2 rear additions and apartments on the upper floors, were remodeled in 1922 to accommodate Wyrick's Grocery. It has also housed McDowell Appliance and So On with Singer. Now the House of Upcycle Dubuque, a creative reuse center for artists, teachers, crafters, and community, has undergone extensive renovations. All new plumbing, gas, and electric were installed. The original ceiling was exposed, and after stripping away concrete, tile, carpet, and metal graining, the original wood flooring was revealed. Second-floor stone lintels and third-floor windows in a Corinthian-style columns and caps were cleaned. Paint and metal sheeting was removed to reveal the original storefront facing Central Avenue, and the storefront facing White Street was completely rebuilt, having been bricked in at one point. In an interview with the Telegraph Herald, Craig Beaton said, "We hope that this is the first of many stores along this avenue, and that gets renovated and enlivens the area. We want to be part of the renaissance of the area, to be part of this larger vision." Thank you again for all your hard work and believing not only in preservation, but how preservation can elevate our community. A special thanks to the Dubuque County Historic Preservation Commission, special thanks to Dubuque County Historical Society committee members, and a special thanks to Dubuque County Historical Society staff. Once again, thank you for all your hard work, and please stay safe.
Shout out to the city and the county historic preservation commissions for making this event happen virtually. We would like to celebrate with all of the projects mentioned throughout this video and congratulate every one of them. Don't forget that throughout this week, we do have our scavenger hunt, which is available online to complete, as well as on Saturday, we have our Jackson Park Historic Walking Tour presentation. Stay tuned to this channel for further information and for the video.